would say I think there's two major challenges though as we see it. One on the hospital side and one on the patient side. On the hospital side is I think the unfortunate aspect is um, it takes multiple applications a lot of time to make all this work. So for example, for us to do all those things I mentioned, so the self-scheduling and the check-in and the payments and the texting and all that stuff, it takes about 5 different applications that we merge together. Seamless to the patient, right? They're going to one link and it all works perfectly, and that's great. But on the hospital side, like we have to use multiple vendors sometimes to solve some of those problems. And so that's different costs, different interfaces. There's obviously pluses and minuses with certain technologies, how they play with your core EMR, how they play with each other. So one, that's sometimes a challenge is just to make all these tools work. There could be potentially a heavy IT lift sometimes. And so that's just one challenge. Is you're just going to have to deal with the fact that, there are some companies like Waystar that do a lot of different things. There's others that are kind of a best breed and like we only do this one thing, we do it really well. And so as you make those decisions, again, there's just cost and support and maintenance. And then if there's an issue with one, how all that interplays. So that's on the hospital, I think, one of the challenges of some of that. And on the patient side is one, like you said, not getting overblown with messages and reminders or links or whatever else. And two is just, ease of use. When we were designing this and we were talking like our patient portal and all of our tools sort of work off of that, one of our founding principles I tried to push on the team was we had to think like an app, like Facebook or Instagram or Candy Crush, whatever it is, where, right, it's really easy. You hit a button, there's not a lot of training that you need to do on how do I use it, how do I find what I need. These things need to be intuitive, need to be very simple. I can't ask, a doctor would say, I want to have this questionnaire, built to be done before the visit. It's like 20 pages. And like, I'm not building this. They're not going to fill it out. You might get 2 pages and then they're going to be like, I'm done. Like, this is ridiculous. So, I do think it's design the system right in a way that's usable, that's easy, that's simple, that is as largely foolproof as you can kind of make it. Though to Shannon's point, obviously you still need people checking that. You still have people reviewing that information. So it is a balancing act. But yeah, I think those are the 2 biggest ones for me, just the technology implications on the hospital side, and then ease of use and intuitiveness on the patient end.